Welcome back, deadbeat drummers, to another deadbeat drum lesson. Today, we're going to learn how to tune your tom drum. Rack tom, tom tom, has a few different names. I'm also going to teach you my approach on how to understand drum tuning and how both the batter head, which is the top, and the resonant head, which is the bottom, how they work together. Before we go on, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. So what we're gonna need to make this work and learn, gonna need your tom hoops, tom heads, tension rods, and of course, your tom shell. And tom holder, and I'll tell you why this is important. Also, I almost forgot, if you can, get 2 drum keys, not a big deal if you can't. Once again, I'd like to clarify, this is my approach. There's tons of videos out there with lots of information telling you there's an easier way, and they're not wrong. I would advise, take a look at those videos, but also take a look at the other videos out there that go in depth. There's one thing of knowing how to do something quick and easy because it's more efficient, then it's another thing to understand why you're doing it that way. So I'm gonna do my best to teach you and help you understand how tuning a tom works. For this lesson, I decided to use my inexpensive drum set, which is actually my first drum set that I got and played for the longest time. Pretty much up until recently, the drums that you see behind me, I got that last year. Before that, I was still playing on my first drum set. This is a Pearl Forum series. It's not medium lineup, it's definitely not high lineup, but what I'm trying to say with that is I have seen and heard expensive drums, but if they're not tuned right, they may not sound good. And I've heard them not sound good. I've also heard inexpensive drums with good tom heads, good tuning, and they blow those expensive drum kits out of the water because they understood tuning and they applied that to their inexpensive drum and they made those drums sing. So let's start off with your shell. Let's grab your batter head. We're gonna start with the top side. Once again, make sure you got your shell right side up, okay? Match logo with the badge. I'm OCD like that. Alright. Grab your tom hoop. Place it on there. Grab your tensioning rods. And for right now, we are just gonna finger tighten them, alright? Alright, that's finger tighten right there. Now that we have your batter head on, we have your hoop, tensioning rods are finger tight, it's time to move on to the next thing. Now we're not gonna get to putting on the bottom head, and we're not gonna get to tightening it down right away. I actually wanna go over something real quick on understanding the batter head. The batter head, in my approach, is we're gonna be tightening down for feel, meaning rebound, and also pitch. You're gonna take 2 of your keys, and if you don't have 2 keys, that's totally fine. You can use one. Just remember, when you start from one point, you're gonna go directly across. And then from the second one, you're gonna go to the furthest point away. Then you're gonna go here, and then here, in a crisscross pattern. We're not even gonna put the bottom head just yet. We're gonna try to get a good tone and rebound, which is feel, just by starting on the top head. Now remember what I told you about your tom holder? The reason why this is pretty important is because on the cheaper line of drum sets, like mine, tom holders, this actually goes right through. Believe it or not, that affects your sound. On some of the middle lineup, higher lineup drum sets, they are suspended tom mounts, meaning the tom holders don't penetrate the shell. They're just suspended on there. Yes, there's hardware, but your tom holder isn't going through, which that does obstruct the sound a little bit. So if yours is like mine, go ahead and grab it and stick it in there right now. Grab both your keys, place them across from one another, and just do quarter turns. Like that. Like that. And like that. Let's see how that first quarter turn sounds like. That actually sounds like it has some tone. That actually sounds like this drum has some tone. And we haven't even put on the Resonant Side head yet. Remember earlier I had mentioned about, for the top head, we're gonna tune for pitch and feel, which is rebound. So after you did your quarter turn, hit on the batter head for a little bit. Does the rebound feel good? Does it feel like it's still absorbing the impact on the stick? Do you not have rebound? Now it's not supposed to be tight like a snare rebound, but there's supposed to be some kind of rebound there. So once again, do your quarter turns, and also listen to the pitch. And I have some decent rebound off that. That's the beauty of drums. It's all personal preference. It's what sounds good to you. Now, if you're new to this is gonna be trial and error. You're gonna have to do this a lot throughout the course of your drumming experience, like I have. I wasn't good at this either when I first started. I had to do this plenty of times. Next, let's move to the bottom side, the resonant head. So flip over your drum. Grab your resonant head. Make sure logo is matching the badge. Place your hoop. And once again, we're gonna finger tighten with our tensioning rods. Like so. What we're looking for is sustain. So the resonant head, the way it works with the batter head, this resonant head is supposed to help prolong the sustain on the sound of your drum or shorten it. It all depends how loose or tight you got it, and I'll explain. I hope you like my drawing. Here's your batter side, the top. Here's your resonant side, the bottom. When you strike a drum, and your sound waves go through your shell and it reaches that resonant head, if your resonant head is too loose, those sound waves are being absorbed by the drum head, by your resonant side head. And because it's too loose, those sound waves are just getting lost here. Sound waves travel down and they're supposed to shoot up, but if your drum head is too loose, your sound waves are just gonna die. Right here, or if it's not tightened up enough, it's gonna bounce back up and still die somewhere around here. If your bottom head is too tight, what happens is this. You strike the drum head, sound waves come down, bottom head is too tight, so the sound waves bounce right back up. And that's where you get that little boingy sound. So what I'm saying with this analogy is every drum is different because different woods, different sizes, different drum heads. And that's the beauty about drums. I said this earlier. This is how you find your sound. So you gotta try to find a nice medium tension to where the sound waves come back up and let your shell sing. I hope my drawing helped a little bit to understand what we're gonna do now on the resonant side. So now that we have this finger tighten, remember, we're gonna do what we did to the batter side, just quarter turns. If you have one key, remember you have to go into crisscross pattern. Let's see how that sounds. Grab it by your tom arm. If you notice, it dies right at the end. There's just like a real quick decay. Let's tighten that up a little bit more by another quarter turn. And you can actually hear it. Let's see how that sounds now. To me, that actually sounded pretty good. Me personally, I like what I call a sonic boom drop. Now I know that's a little too crazy of a term, but what I'm saying, there's like a pitch bend. It's like a pitch drop. It's like a doo. I really like that. That's how you tune your rack tom. Your tom-tom, tom drum, drum tom. Try to remember my cool little drawing I did here. Batter head, you are tuning that for rebound and pitch. Resonant side, you are tuning that for sustain, how long or short you want to hold that note. Remember, if it's too loose, it's gonna be absorbed by the drum head and it's never gonna make it to the shell walls so that it sings. It's just gonna die right here if it's too loose. If it's too tight, that note's just gonna bounce right back up and it's gonna be boingy. It's not gonna sound good. So you need to find a nice medium. Somewhere in there, alright? And like I said, you will learn this through trial and error and throughout your drumming experience. But that's the beauty about drums. It's about finding your own sound. I hope this video was of some help to you guys and my analogy made sense. If it didn't, or if it did, leave a comment down below and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions and help anybody. Remember what I said, you don't need an expensive drum set to sound good. You can make a very inexpensive drum set sound good if you put the right drum heads on there and if you do the right tuning. You don't even need to have name brand drum heads. If you know how to tune it, you can make these drums sing. I promise you. I hope today's deadbeat drum lesson was helpful. If you got anything out of this, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. I'll see you in the next video.